The LCS is dead, and it's time to talk about why. Remember this? And remember this? And remember this? Because of terrible management decisions and multiple losses in a row, what once was one of the most popular esports products in the world doesn't even exist anymore. It all started back in the year 2013. Riot Games had just come off an incredibly successful year in esports and wanted to cash in. So they shifted their strategy. Riot wanted to be like traditional sports with their own leagues, so they decided to put the best players from Europe and North America into their own league. So we got the NALCS and the EULCS. And both LCSs were killing it, but especially NA. We're talking hundreds of thousands of viewers every weekend. We're talking fans in the stands, autographs, lineups. Just to name some of the names, we had CLG versus TSM. We had players like High and Sneaky and Meteos and Doublelift and Bjergsen. And of course, all these epic matchups and moments that are still revisited to this day.
He's going! Sticks! And he's in for number 3! The king of Pentagon! Oh my!
Looking for the quadra, not gonna get it that time. It's a triple for Doublelift. He's looking for Bjergsen.
It was all smooth sailing up until the end of 2016. But then Riot and the owners decided that they wanted to be like the NFL? Or the NBA, or the NHL, or name any professional sport. So Riot and the owners decided to bring in franchising, despite most fans disagreeing with the decision. See, franchising isn't just all bad, it has some potential positives, including the chance for the owners to have more stability and possibly make more money. But franchising brought with it a lot of negatives as well. For one, it allowed teams to coast, and it also cut down on a lot of new faces and novelty in the league. Suddenly, a lot of matches just stopped meaning as much anymore. And the players knew that too.
Doublelift has said spring split doesn't matter. He's on record.
But that was only part of the problem. Riot also decided that talent was replaceable. Riot in NA had accrued some of the best esports caster talent in the world. But slowly, they started replacing some of those names with newer faces. And some of those newer faces were good, and some of those newer faces were worse.
Zoning off. Oh!
But the problem was, those changes were happening not because those new faces were better, but because they were cheaper. And this hurt the product, and it hurt the fans even more. Still, franchising and on-screen talent changes weren't enough to kill the LCS. What really put the final nail in the coffin was the losses of the faces that made NA NA. One by one, every face that helped build the LCS, that helped make the LCS what it is, left. We're talking organizations and players. CLG left, and so did their fans. TSM left, and so did their fans. And then players started retiring. We had huge losses like Doublelift and Bjergsen, as well as players like Aframu and Sneaky and Meteos. The LCS simply couldn't handle this many losses in a row. NA was always a perennial loser on the international stage, but at least NA had one thing. They were fun. They had the personalities. They had the great rivalries and teams. But as these faces and these organizations left one after the other, and NA continued to perform terribly on the international stage, fans started to question, what even is the point of watching anymore? And so, they stopped watching. Year after year, the viewership numbers went down and down and down until Riot had no choice but to give up on the LCS.
LCS is dying. Like, you hear nothing from Riot. You hear nothing from anybody who wants to, like, actually dive into the issues.
So why did the LCS die? The LCS died because decision makers forgot what made the LCS special in the first place. The LCS wasn't great to watch because it was like sports. People watched the LCS because it wasn't. They watched for the trash talk, the laughs, the personalities, the rivalries, the organizations, and of course for the terrible, terrible gameplay. The LCS understood that they may not be the best, but they embraced it. They embraced being fun. And we as a community were all together in this fun circle of suck. But now, that community is fractured. It's funny because the LTA North, the new LCS, has a lot of new young talent. Players like Yeon and Masu are really making a name for themselves on the international stage. But the problem is that magic is gone. And I think I can speak for many people when I say, I miss that magic. And I hope it comes back one day.
Season. That's going to do it for our show today, though. So on behalf of myself, our analysts, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching the regular season with us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and please share so we can have more people join this League of Legends community. And please let me know in the comments what you think about the LCS, what you think about LTA North, and how you think you could bring the magic back to League of Legends.